Rowling came out in a statement and said, "FanFiction rocks." Okay, you got me. Maybe she didn't say exactly that, but she still came out in 2004 in an interview saying she was totally fine with fanfiction. But what was she talking about? What is fanfiction? In its most simple form, fanfiction is just writing stories about characters that exist already, another author's characters using another author's universe. When you're writing fanfiction, they can be full-fledged sequels. They can be answering, what if this happened? They can be looking at a story and saying, I don't like that. Or, what if they did this? Or, I'm going to change that. They can be entirely alternate endings, alternate beginnings. You can do so much with fanfiction. But if you're familiar with fanfiction, you're going to be familiar with a lot of the negative stereotypes and connotations associated with it. One of those, the main one that people have when I say the word fanfiction or fangirl, is they think teenage girls writing bad porn. Which is not only ridiculous, but damaging. To start off, I mean, I am a busy person. I go to school, I have hard classes, I'm in speech and debate, mock trial, tons of other clubs. I do sports, I do wrestling, fractured my elbow at wrestling 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Not so great on the timing. And professional authors, write fanfiction too. Did you know author of Peter Pan wrote Sherlock Holmes fanfiction? And he'd send it to Arthur Conan Doyle because he was so proud of his fanfiction about Sherlock Holmes. And the author of the best-selling Mortal Instruments young adults novel, Cassandra Clare, got her start as a big-name fan in fanfiction. But my point about this is that not only is it ridiculous, but it's also damaging. Because let's stop for a second, and let's picture me, but I'm shorter, if you can imagine that. And I'm cuter. Well, I'm pretty cute now, but maybe not. So maybe not cuter, but I like to crawl around on the desk, and I like to play with my hair, and there's two other things I like to do, and one of them is stand up and tell my teachers that they're wrong. And no, Father Leo, Christmas is obviously more important than Easter. And no, Miss Lee, my daddy showed me a different way to do this problem, and he's right. And the third thing I like to do was I like to narrate the world around me in the third person. It was really weird, and I was like in first grade when I was doing this. But it's because I had a story I wanted to tell. I wanted people to listen to my voice. And so when people come up to me and they say, fanfiction, funny, and they laugh, they're saying they say, oh, you write fan fiction, in that tone of decision, they're saying my voice doesn't count. My voice isn't going to be heard because it's fan fiction. It doesn't deserve to be heard because it's fan fiction, which is devastating and damaging to hear. I didn't start actually writing fan fiction until the summer before sophomore year, when one of my oldest friends was diagnosed with anorexia and spent a week or two in the hospital and almost died. It was terrifying for me, and fanfiction was one of the only outlets I had to explore that fear, that terror. And it was my way of using my voice that was given to me by this community of writers who were passionate about a book or a television series to say, here, look at this disease with a 50% survival rate. Here's the symptoms. Here's what to say. Here's what it looks like. It was one of the only coping mechanisms I had. And if you think about it, I've been to 3 different schools and I have taken 0 creative writing courses because there have been none offered. We have dozens of different music classes. We have dozens of different art classes, and we don't have a single creative writing course. Fanfiction was my only way to learn about how to write, how to receive feedback, how to write on a deadline. Something that I come from the Douglas Adams mentality, which is I love deadlines. I love the whooshing sound they make as they go by. Sort of mentality. But when you're writing a story online, chapter by chapter, people are reviewing it, and it makes you want to write on deadline. It made me want to write on a deadline. And this was awesome for me, and the instant feedback was so valuable to receive. Beyond that, it was relevant to my life. It's like I was saying before with dealing with issues like anorexia. Fan fiction is an immediate response to the world. It is responding to events as they happen. It is writing about stories that can't, won't, or aren't told by the mainstream media. They can explore really creative ideas. An example of this is in 2013, after the Supreme Court ruling about gay marriage, fan fiction was written hours later. In this way, fan fiction is almost a better medium to explore certain issues than books, movies, or television shows can be. Books, you need advertising, you need television shows on a deadline, you need publishers, you need agents, you need to jump through all these hoops to get to that publishing date. But with fan fiction, you can release a 500-word short story within half an hour of something occurring. It provides a platform to talk about real issues that we are facing that haven't reached the mainstream media, or issues that are way out there, or issues that are really unique to us that won't ever reach the mainstream media. It's this idea of reaching the mainstream, of telling stories that the mainstream media doesn't, that lends fan fiction a really awesome flavor in terms of the people who are telling the stories. Because it's making such cool things, doing such cool things with censorship. Because I have full control over what I post. The site can't take it down, it's just me. And this is an interesting dilemma, because if you want to go way back when, to the 2000s and the 90s, when we were all little babies, except for you old people. You old people were not little babies, but back then it was scary to be a fan fiction writer, because you could just get these letters from the publishers that would say, cease and desist. I have never gotten a cease and desist letter, and I don't know anyone who has. But when you got that letter, your fan fiction would just be taken down from the internet, completely gone. No one could view it anymore. And so one day in 2003, Warner Brothers sends this letter to one of the biggest Harry Potter fan sites, and they say, we want you to take all your gay pairings, or slash, and we want you to rate them as R, because we don't want children finding that you're writing gay stuff about Harry Potter online. And the archive said, no, because what they were saying when they said no, is they were saying we value our experience of these individual writers. We value the story that each individual writer has to share. We value the right of their experience, the right of their story to tell a story. We value a media that doesn't have to worry about alienating its audience, that doesn't have to worry about whether their story is too weird, or worry about what other people might think about their story. It's telling all stories, no matter what, if someone wants to tell that story. It's that statement that prompted the formation of a company that created a organization for transformative works, that created an archive of our own, an entirely fan-ran archive, where you have this total freedom, you have this lack of fear of the cease and desist orders that I experience today. And when people write fan fiction, they can explore such unique story formats of telling a story. It's really cool, because they're really pioneering the internet. They're telling stories on the internet in a way that no one else is, because they're using the internet to include links, do giant collaborations with 5, 6, 8 people, to include artwork, to have social media interaction, to have fake newspaper articles, fake clips, all sorts of things that they can incorporate into this. For a lot of Avengers fan fiction, some of it is exploring what our social media reaction, what our media reaction in this 21st century would be to having a legacy like Captain America or a team of superheroes. And it's doing this in really, really cool and unique and exciting ways. And it's doing it in a way that Marvel never will. Marvel will never try to make a comment on our celebrity culture. Marvel will never make this movie about media. And fan fiction is telling stories and starting discussions that can't be told in any other format. And I think that's really cool. But I didn't always. I went through that phase, I think all fan fiction writers go through, where we're a little ashamed of the fact that we're writing stuff online. Because that's weird, man. You're writing about fictional characters on the internet. What is your life? What are you doing? I mean, that's pretty weird. So, but when I went to a new school, I didn't know anybody. And it was my first year. I was a freshman. It was high school. And we had this sub, so we were all on our computers, and I was reading fan fiction. You know, and I get up to go to the bathroom, and I'm at that part. It's based on a relationship. It's a relationship thing. And I'm at that part where they're doing the soppy love declarations, and they're realizing that they totally misunderstood each other and they belong together. So I get up to go to the bathroom, and when I come back, 7 or 8 people are crowded around my computer reading the parts with the kissing. They were reading the parts with the kissing. They knew my secret. They knew I read fan fiction. It was so humiliating. I was utterly humiliated. And so I was humiliated until about 10-20 minutes to the end of class, because I'm sitting there and I'm determinedly flushing and not opening my computer, because I'm not going to do it. I'm reading my book. I'm not going to finish the fan fiction because I'm too embarrassed. But 20 or 30 minutes till the end of class, I'm like, you know what? That was a good fan fiction. It was really good, and I want to know if they got together or not. So I'm like, I'm just going to own it. I'm going to open up my computer, and I'm going to finish that fan fiction. It's exactly what I did. I opened it up, and I finished it, and it was great. So I want to speak to anyone who's sort of ashamed of their fan fiction writing and say, this thing has got such great merit. It's got such great teaching skills, teaching abilities about new philosophies, new life. It's got such exposure to such diversity and so many different stories. It can tell you so much about how to tell a story. And I want to speak to everyone here. And I want to say that when you leave here, don't just remember my story. Remember your stories. Remember your voice. When you leave this room, remember that we are all humans in one universe. And here is the secret about that. We can all be authors of our own destinies in this shared universe. You don't have to be a fan fiction writer to have the attitude of one to look at the world and say, I don't like that. To look at that world and say, that's not good. Look at that world and say, I want to change that. And go out there and do it. To say, I can change that. I am changing that. I changed that. You can take that attitude in the world regardless of whether or not you write fan fiction. So, leave. Pause. Take a breath. Listen. Respond. Smile. And tell a story. Thank you so much.